Camera 1. Bonjour, ici John Benson, conversation anglaise Drummond. Bienvenue à la capsule du professeur d'anglais pour vous. Aujourd'hui, on est content d'être là avec vous et aujourd'hui, nous allons vous parler de la comparaison entre le simple past et le past progressive. C'est une chose que parfois les gens ont des difficultés avec et on va utiliser par l'entremise d'un petit PowerPoint qui va vous aider dans votre apprentissage. Donc, immédiatement, nous allons aller au PowerPoint et on va regarder ça ensemble. Donc, notice we have here somebody reporting to the police, and she says, "It was about 10 in the morning when I was sitting in Maxie's cafe near the park." "What were you doing?" asked the police officer. "I was having a cup of coffee and watching the people in the cafe." "What did you see?" "To my right, there was a young woman. She was eating a huge dish of ice cream. She was really enjoying it. And to my left, there was a young man. He was drinking a cup of coffee and reading a newspaper. A big red briefcase was standing next to his feet." Suddenly, there was another young man. He snatched the red briefcase and ran away, and it was so fast that we didn't even know what happened. After the man stole the briefcase, we all talked quite loudly, and the owner of the briefcase was very upset. So what we're seeing here is use of the past progressive. Use the past progressive to describe an action that was in progress at a specific time in the past. Notice past, 10 a.m., now, and future. So I was having coffee. She was eating ice cream at 10 a.m. this morning. Non-action verbs usually are not used with the past progressive. Note the exception of have. I was having a headache. No. I had a headache. But we can say I was having coffee and I was having ice cream. These are exceptions when you're referring to eating or drinking. So, use the past progressive with a simple past to describe an action that was interrupted by another action. They were enjoying the morning when the thief stole the briefcase. Donc, the stealing of the briefcase interrupted the morning they were enjoying. Use the past progressive for the action that was in progress, and use when or to introduce the simple past that interrupts. Notice the man was reading when the thief snatched the briefcase. When introduces the simple past. Use the past progressive to focus on the duration of an action. Use the simple past to focus on the completion of an action. I was sitting in Maxie's cafe and watching the people. The thief stole the briefcase and ran away. This is finished. Stole. Ran. One-time actions. So let's look at some practice here. What were you doing when I called this morning? I was trying to wake up when you called. There are a few more other questions that you could practice with. So if we look at the past progressive with while, it uses it to describe two actions when in progress at the same time in the past. The man was reading the newspaper while the woman was eating ice cream. Two things were going on at the same time. Use the past progressive with while to describe two actions were in progress at the same time in the past. We look at our example. While I was describing the thief, the police officer was writing everything down. The time clause equals the part of the sentence with when and while can come at the beginning or at the end of the sentence. Notice they were having coffee when the thief snatched the briefcase. And you can also put it at the end. When the thief snatched the briefcase, they were having coffee, but notice if you do this way, you have to have a comma between the two. So be careful. Sentences with both clauses in the simple past have a very different meaning from sentences with one clause in the simple past and one in the past progressive. When the waiter came looking, I looked at the menu, excuse me. So, if we notice, he came, and I looked. One action, and then another action. Look at the next one here. There's two forms, okay? When the waiter came, I was looking at the menu. First I was looking at the menu, then the waiter came. His arrival interrupted my looking at the menu. So, we have a little practice here. While the man was reading, the prisoner was stealing his wallet. Now, we have 5 examples here. We're almost at the end of our PowerPoint. So, number 1, while the man was reading, the prisoner was stealing his wallet. What's the next one say? While the women were talking, they were drinking tea. While the sun was shining, the fountain was splashing. Number 3, while one man was playing pool, the other man was watching. Number 4, while the woman was not looking, the toast was burning. Oh boy. And number 5, and the last one, while the woman was talking on the phone, the man was sitting on the chair. So, j'espère que c'était un aide pour vous de voir ce petit PowerPoint, cette information sur le simple pass vis-à-vis de pass progressive. C'est une chose que parfois on a difficulté avec. Si vous avez besoin d'informations de plus, si vous avez besoin d'aide de plus, n'hésitez pas de nous contacter à Institut Conversation Anglaise Drummond. Vous pourrez aller sur notre site web à www.ecad.qc.ca ou vous pouvez nous contacter par Messenger si vous êtes sur le Facebook. Ça nous fait plaisir de vous aider et on peut vous offrir des formations par vidéoconférence ou quelle que soit de choses. Et le numéro de téléphone est aussi disponible au 819-472-2476. Au plaisir de vous surveiller et à bientôt.